We arguably live in a patriarchal and hierarchical society. As a result, some people think that men cannot be victims. After all, a society which operates this way should be favorable to men. But this is not the case. Sadly, there are many occasions where men have been defeated by their own vulnerabilities, which often lead to a range of mental health problems, or even worse, suicide. Take, for instance, Avicii and Mike Thalassaitis, who have both succumbed to this chasm. Today, we will go through some of the obstacles in the way of men that hinder them from moving forward and achieving their goals in life. First, some men face obstacles which they struggle to get past. It's a myth that men do not face obstacles. Even with ever-present privilege, men face their own set of destructive barriers that restrict what it means to be a man and how a man can express himself. This is especially true for men who are also members of marginalized groups. As a man, when you grapple with overcoming obstacles, you are faced with challenges that seem impossible to deal with. One thing you can do before calling it quits is to try and shift your perspective. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at often change. Second, some men lose motivation to carry on. One clear example of this is at work. While women are gradually climbing the ranks, a growing number of men seem to be losing their motivation. Those occasions in life when a man assesses where he is and where he thought he would be, and realizes he's not sure where he wants to go. This loss of drive holds men back more often than anything else. It can be very difficult to maintain motivation over long periods of time. Motivation only lasts so long when we're focused solely on ourselves. Think about how your mission will help others, and you'll tap into a fresh surge of motivation. What most men lack is discipline. The reason most of the top-tier men are top is because of discipline. Traditional men didn't have motivation, they had discipline. Discipline is what keeps most men performing despite the feeling of quitting. Unfortunately, most men today have no one to teach them about discipline. The men displayed by the media today are dependent on women. They can't stand for themselves and are controlled by their feelings and women. In addition, a few men carry on with their lives stuck on autopilot. So frequently, men can wind up living on autopilot. This implies that you are making a half-hearted effort of living without truly feeling invigorated. Living with next to no aim consistently. The best distress in life is in many cases weariness. If you discover yourself feeling like you are carrying on with a dull life or feeling baffled, you are just existing as opposed to really partaking in your life. Odds are good that you are trapped in the autopilot mode. Next time you wind up accomplishing something that you have done multiple times previously, why not stop and ask yourself what different choices are there? What might another person consider? Life is loaded with shocks. We simply need to track down ways of adding variety. Some men are scared by their own vulnerability. It's been an almost universal expectation that girls become women simply by reaching physical maturity. But it's not the same with boys. They have to pass a test. They needed to show courage, demonstrate physical prowess, or mastery of certain skills. Essentially, the goal was to prove their competence as providers and protectors. In turn, this rite of passage conferred to men shapes their views of masculinity. Some men are sitting on a dream that seems so far out of reach. When you first get the big idea, you're excited. Maybe you're going to finally run that London Marathon or write that great British novel or spend the summer in Spain. But all of a sudden, these dreams become unachievable. A useful tip that comes to mind is that you should remind yourself daily of the why of your goal. How will you or your life be better after you've achieved it? Maybe you'll be healthier, maybe you'll be a published author or fluent in Spanish. Whatever the benefits are, keep them at the forefront of your mind. Some men are constantly rejected. Rejection itself is seemingly a straightforward no. The other party places a firm boundary that they do not want to deal with you. No, there will be no second date. No, you don't have the job. No, we don't want to hang out with you. But these no's are far from the only times many men experience intense feelings of rejection. It experiences in other forms because there are so many expectations that men must fulfill. There's nothing wrong with being rejected. It happens to all men. What matters is that you learn something out of these rejections. Consider them as opportunities to improve yourself. Why did that person turn down your approach? What went wrong? How can you improve? By having this mentality, you gain confidence and learn a lesson that you will apply next time when you find yourself in trial again. Some men face unrealistic expectations. Our society puts pressure on women to be slim, and the link between this and eating disorders has been widely talked about. Unfortunately, the negative impact that societal ideals have on men is often overlooked. This should not be the case. Men account for 15% of those who suffer with eating disorders. This figure is even more predicted to be going unreported, investigating the effect of the pressure put on men to be lean, large, and muscular is becoming more and more important. Men deserve a safe space to talk about their frustrations. Self-doubt. Every man I've ever had deep, honest conversations with has expressed this same nagging struggle that I have felt from time to time. We ask ourselves if we have what it takes, if we're making the right decisions, and if there are any other guys feeling the same way. In the everyday adventures of marriage, being a dad to 5 children, leading non-profit organizations, men have questioned and second-guessed many decisions. Sexual temptation. Yes, this temptation is one of the problems men face, every man. With the proliferation of pornography online, the destruction that it brings is just one click away. Since men often battle this in total silence and isolation, it can be a dangerous secret that damages them physically, emotionally, and relationally. Families are wrecked every day by men who fail in sexual temptation online, in person and in marriages, and don't know how to handle those breaches of trust. It's important that we build safeguards like not staying idle, and if we are idle, stay in public places. We also need to share our struggles with men we trust who will support us. Lack of respect. A lack of respect can crumble a man's spirit. It is because of lack of respect that men commit suicide. It is because of lack of respect that men go to jail. It is because of lack of respect that men can't hold themselves together anymore. When a wife or child constantly questions a man's judgment, decisions, and actions, it surely takes the wind out of his sails. So it's important to help our wives and children understand how much we value their respect to us without demanding it. It's even more important that we treat them in a way that earns and deserves their respect. If we strive to address the disease and not just the symptoms, we'll fix these challenges men are suffering with. The problems men face aren't unique. What other struggles you see as common among men? What struggle are you going through as a man? Please share them in the comments. Share this video with a man, spread the word. Consider subscribing and activate the notifications bell. Thank you for watching.